It's another weekend. You are cleaning the house, some room that has been long in need of rearrangement. You come across a book on spiritual exercises for growth and enlightenment. You remember when you bought it 4 years ago. You had read through it excitedly and even formed a routine to carry out the exercises it contained. You were making progress until you started second-guessing yourself, doubting its authenticity, running it through the lens of the popular and socially or even religiously accepted definition of enlightenment, to seek verification as to if and whether to continue on the lonely, unpopular but ultimately beneficial path which the Master called the narrow way. You suddenly realize that since you dropped off, the existential questions of purpose and meaning still assail you, and these approved channels and friends are still unable to fill that void. You pull a chair, sink into it, and wonder why this cycle keeps happening. Your journey seems to be defined by cycles of emptiness and questioning, intense desire for fulfilling knowledge, resuming your quest, and suddenly being clouded out and weakened by these conflicts. I will tell you what those conflicts come from. They come from misconceptions that arise from false and faulty foundations, creating a bunch of devious and twisted half-truths designed to keep you in a cycle of constant motion but no real progress. Anyone building their spiritual journey on these weak foundations will, like a house built on sand, be washed away by the first wave of water from the sea of life. And it will surprise you that millions of people are daily being deceived and drained by these waste pipes that suck spiritual fervor, leaving them ultimately in old age, regretting why they could not see through and break free from these lies earlier. If this story rings true on any level in your spiritual journey, this is the turnaround video for you. The 4 commonest areas where these faulty foundations are spewed from are the mass media, your parents, your friends, and your religion. Together they present a front that suggests to your unwary mind that true mystical enlightenment is in conflict with the divine plan. They have succeeded in derailing you thus far because you have not taken the time to interrogate their core suppositions. This video will give you the much-needed and long-awaited ammunition to crush these lies one by one. I have put together a series of 10 of these mind tricks, misconceptions, or faulty foundations and how they operate. I will burst each myth by proving that there is no conflict in true spirituality, only consistencies. God is consistent and is not an author of confusion. The earlier you connect the dots of divine consistency and stay the course for your own good, the better for you. Let's dive in. What if the reason you feel stuck in your spiritual journey isn't you, but the lies you've been taught? Maybe you've scrolled through Instagram, seeing all those love and light posts and thought, why am I still struggling? Why don't I feel that blissed out Zen all the time energy? Here's the truth. Real spirituality isn't about being perfect, it's about being free. So let's use this video to break down the first 5 false foundations that might be holding you back. And more importantly, how to rise above them. I promise to make them as simple as possible, even for an 8th grader. Here, we don't do jargon and frills, just usable and practical spiritually empowering information. Number 1. Spiritual people are always happy and positive. Let's start with the biggest illusion. That awakened people float through life in a constant state of peace, never feeling anger, sadness, or fear. Where does this come from? Toxic positivity culture, those good vibes only posts that make darkness seem like a failure. But think about it. Even the most enlightened teachers, Buddha, Jesus, and Rumi, talked about suffering. Not as punishment, but as an accepted discomfort or willful overcoming of resistance by which a stronger set of spiritual muscles and resilience is built. This resilience, now the sole property of its owner, is used and usable in many other projects in the spiritual journey to move aside and overcome or master any and all unwanted barriers and obstacles. The truth? Emotions, whether anger, sadness, or fear, aren't your enemy, they're your guidance system. Your sadness isn't low vibration, it's sacred data. Your anger isn't unspiritual, it's a boundary waiting to be set. So have you ever felt guilty for not being happy 24/7? That guilt is the real illusion. In overcoming it, You both ensure you are free from its trap, as well as uncover the deeper reason and deal with such at the same time. Number 2. Enlightenment means no more pain. This one is a sneaky trap. We've been sold this idea that if we just manifest enough or meditate hard enough, life will stop hurting. I used to believe this too, until I realized even the greatest spiritual masters didn't avoid life or escape the pain and vicissitudes of living. In fact, they showed by example how to embrace and master these inevitable ups and downs. Buddha still got old. Jesus still wept. Spiritual evolution is not woo-woo. It happens within the stream of life. This life, not in outer space. Or some escapist utopia. The truth? Awakening doesn't dodge the peculiarities of being human. In fact, it happens through engaging with them. It helps you navigate life, with clarity, with power and with assurance. Once you awaken to this, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You start asking, what is this teaching me? Because once you learn and master the lesson, you are not only stronger, but you can also then teach. Not from outside the human experience with conjured wisdom, describing experiences you either did not pass through or are unrelatable to the person you are seeking to encourage or guide, but from within the lived one, as experienced by you. This is what will make it believable, acceptable, and practically useful to anyone you aim to impart such wisdom to. So are you in a tough season right now? That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're growing. You should journal your journey and earmark the often unseen growth points it contains. Points you have often missed in the past because you were not present in the experience. Number 3. I must be 100% selfless to be spiritual. Now this one runs deep, especially if you grew up in a religious or people-pleasing home. The idea that real spiritual people never say no and never put themselves first is just, wow. But here's the irony. You can't pour from an empty cup. Even Jesus had time for a foot massage and oiling with perfume. What a deep and twisted lie. One that most religious folk don't even see. Maybe they see it but can't question the contradiction in order not to rock the approval boat. Anyway, I learned this the hard way when I burned out trying to save everyone, until my body forced me to stop. The truth is that boundaries aren't just okay, they're holy. If you're drained giving to others, that's not love, it's self-abandonment. Set boundaries like the universe sets gravity, firm, invisible, and life-saving. Think about it, even the ocean has shores. Even the sun sets. Your skin is the boundary God put between you and the elements. Not everything should have access to you or your energy. Anyone who says otherwise wants to bring you into conflict with divine truth. As soon as you are immersed in this conflict, you will become disillusioned with the path. Please know this today and live. So if you've been overgiving until you're drained, repeat after me, my needs are not negotiable. Number 4. If I only manifest hard enough, I'll never suffer. Ah, the law of attraction trap. We've all seen those posts. Just think positive and your life will be perfect. But here's what no one tells you. Manifestation isn't living in a daydream, playing your desired goals over and over in your mind, or about avoiding challenges. It's about summoning the strength to solve them. At the root of this trickery are law of attraction gurus selling magic pill dreams. Folks look at manifestation as a destination and not a journey. The journey to manifestation should be playful, enriching, and enjoyably undertaken. Not just aiming to get the trophy. The trophy is for the single event, the lesson in the journey is for all events. Write that down. You don't manifest a problem-free life. Once you manifest a goal, another goal will need manifesting, if that's what you did not consider. You manifest the courage to handle life, any which way it comes. That universal applicability of the power to manifest should be your purpose, not bliss that never ends. That's an illusion. The faith that attracts changes is not wishful scattered thinking. It is methodical, painstaking, and detailed, and then works the plan gently to fruition. But the world would rather have you think otherwise in order to give the impression that God does not honor his word. Well, now you know better. Number 5. Dark emotions mean I'm not vibrating high. This one hurts my heart. So many seekers suppress their pain because they think sadness or anger lowers their vibe. But forcing happiness when you're hurting? That's like putting lipstick on a broken leg, it doesn't heal anything. The truth? Your shadow isn't your enemy, it's your unclaimed power. Suppressing emotions lowers your vibration. Authenticity raises it. In an authentic mind frame, you become free to name it, claim it, and tame it. Name that emotion. Hold it. Find its source and what it is trying to teach. Act on what you've learned and watch how it transforms you. Now that negative emotion has served its purpose to your benefit. Can you see why any spiritual journey built on these foundations cannot stand? It's not about you, it's about the false expectations that these foundations promise to fulfill. I am sure you can decode why they just could not live up to their promises, and why they will never fulfill you long term. You must discard them now. Well, these are just the first 5 lies and false foundations. But the next 5, they're even more subtle and shocking. If you're keen on tapping in, then hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Part 2 drops shortly, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Until we meet again, here's to your renewal. On all levels.